Vienna, 1955, a city caught in the throes of the Cold War, where every corner held a secret and every shadow concealed a potential threat. A city shrouded in secrets, teeming with spies. The air was thick with tension as agents from both sides of the Iron Curtain played their dangerous games. Among the cobblestone streets and grand cafes, a lone figure moved with purpose. His steps were deliberate, his gaze sharp, always scanning for danger. His name was Nikolai Khokhlov, a defector from the Soviet Union. Once a loyal servant of the state, he had turned his back on his former masters. He carried with him a deadly secret, a cyanide gun disguised as a cigarette case, a tool of his former trade. This lethal device was a symbol of the life he had left behind. Khokhlov had been sent to assassinate a high-profile defector, a mission he refused to carry out. His conscience would not allow him to take another life in the name of a regime he no longer believed in. Instead, he chose to expose the plot, defecting to the West. His defection was a bold move, one that would change the course of his life forever. His decision made him a marked man, living under constant threat of retaliation. Every day was a battle for survival as he navigated the treacherous waters of espionage. The Kremlin's long reach extended even to the heart of Europe, its agents lurking in the shadows. They were relentless, always searching for those who had betrayed them. One crisp autumn evening, Khokhlov sipped his coffee, the bitter taste a constant reminder of his past. The warmth of the cafe was a stark contrast to the cold reality of the situation. Suddenly he felt a searing pain. It was an attack, swift and brutal, a reminder that his enemies were never far behind. An unknown assailant had poisoned him with a radioactive substance. The poison was a cruel weapon designed to kill slowly and painfully. Khokhlov survived, but the attack left him scarred, a stark reminder of the deadly stakes in the game of espionage. His body bore the marks of his struggle, a testament to his resilience. The Cold War was a battle fought not only with armies and weapons, but with secrets and lies. It was a conflict where information was as valuable as any weapon. Espionage became a crucial weapon in this conflict, a dangerous dance where one misstep could be fatal. Agents lived in a world of deception where trust was a rare commodity. Khokhlov's story serves as a chilling reminder of the human cost of this shadowy war. It is a tale of courage and betrayal, of survival against the odds, and of the enduring struggle for freedom in a world divided by ideology. As World War II ended, the world breathed a collective sigh of relief. The horrors of the conflict had finally come to an end, and soldiers returned home to their families, hoping for a brighter future. However, from the ashes of this devastating war, a new and insidious conflict began to take shape. The ruins of Europe were a stark reminder of the destruction, but also a canvas for rebuilding and new beginnings. The Soviet Union and the Western powers, once united against a common enemy, now found themselves on opposite sides of a growing ideological divide. The camaraderie of wartime alliances quickly faded. This divide was most visibly represented by the city of Berlin, which became a symbol of the broader division across Europe. The construction of the Berlin Wall epitomized the physical and ideological barriers that had arisen. The Iron Curtain had fallen, separating East from West, communism from democracy. Espionage became paramount as both sides sought to gain the upper hand in this new covert war. Both sides sought to penetrate the other's secrets, employing a vast array of spy equipment and covert tactics. Intelligence agencies worked tirelessly to understand their adversaries' capabilities and intentions, analyzing every piece of information they could gather. Agencies like the CIA and the KGB recruited agents from all walks of life, training them in the arts of deception and subterfuge. These agents underwent rigorous training, learning how to operate undetected and carry out their missions with precision. Once trained, they were sent into the field, where they engaged in high-stakes espionage activities. These spies were often ordinary people, diplomats, journalists, businessmen, leading double lives. Their everyday roles provided the perfect cover for their clandestine activities. Their missions were fraught with danger, their every move scrutinized by both friend and foe. The constant threat of exposure loomed over them. Their true allegiances were hidden beneath layers of deception, making trust a rare and precious commodity. The Cold War was a time of paranoia and suspicion, where propaganda fueled fear and mistrust among citizens. The threat of nuclear annihilation loomed large, casting a shadow over every aspect of life. Governments conducted drills, preparing for a potential catastrophe. In this climate of fear, espionage flourished, its tendrils reaching into every aspect of life. covert communications and secret operations became the norm. The pervasive nature of espionage meant that no one was truly safe. Homes were searched, conversations recorded, and lives monitored. The stakes were incredibly high, with every diplomatic meeting and negotiation carrying the weight of potential global consequences. The consequences of failure could be catastrophic, leading to captured spies, public trials, and severe repercussions for those involved. Few espionage cases captivated the world like the Cambridge Five. This group of highly educated men, recruited from Cambridge University in the 1930s, rose to prominent positions in British society while secretly working as double agents for the Soviet Union. Kim Philby, Donald MacLean, Guy Burgess, Anthony Blunt, and John Cairncross. Their names became synonymous with betrayal and treachery. They passed sensitive information to the Soviets, compromising Western intelligence operations and potentially costing lives. Their motives were complex, a mix of ideological conviction, personal ambition, and a sense of adventure. They betrayed their country, their friends, and their families, all for a cause they believed in. The Cambridge Five case exposed vulnerabilities within Western intelligence and highlighted the seductive power of ideology. Berlin, 1955. The city, divided by the Berlin Wall, was a hotbed of espionage. The West, desperate for information about Soviet military capabilities, embarked on a daring operation to tunnel under the border and tap into the communication lines of the Soviet military. Operation Gold, as it was codenamed, was a massive undertaking. Engineers and miners worked tirelessly, digging a tunnel over 400 meters long, equipped with listening devices. For months, the West listened in on Soviet communications, gaining valuable intelligence. However, the Soviets were aware of the operation. They had discovered the tunnel early on but chose to play along, feeding the West disinformation. When they decided to expose the operation, it was a major propaganda coup, embarrassing the West and highlighting the risks of Cold War espionage. The life of a Cold War spy was one of constant danger. Betrayal lurked around every corner. Trust was a luxury they could ill afford. Many spies met their end not on the battlefield but in the shadows, victims of assassination, accidents staged to look like suicides, or simply disappearing without a trace. The Stasi, East Germany's notorious secret police, were masters of repression and control. They employed a vast network of informants, monitoring their citizens' every move. The KGB, the Soviet Union's intelligence agency, was equally ruthless, eliminating threats both at home and abroad. Espionage was a high-stakes game, and the players knew the rules. One wrong move, one moment of carelessness, could mean the difference between life and death. For these Cold War spies, every day was a tightrope walk between duty and danger. Section 6. Families in the crosshairs. The toll of this clandestine war extended beyond the spies themselves. Their families often lived in ignorance of their loved ones' true professions, shrouded in secrecy and deception. The constant fear of exposure, the sudden disappearances, and the whispered rumors took a heavy psychological toll. Children grew up with absent parents, their lives shrouded in half-truths. Spouses grappled with suspicions they couldn't voice, their relationships strained by the weight of unspoken secrets. The emotional burden of living a lie often proved unbearable, leading to broken families and shattered lives. For the families of spies who were caught or killed, the pain was compounded by public humiliation and the stigma of betrayal. They were left to grapple with the consequences of actions they didn't choose and secrets they never knew. Section 7. The spy who came in from the Cold War. The end of the Cold War didn't erase the legacy of these deadly games. Some spies, their loyalties still shrouded in mystery, simply vanished, leaving behind unanswered questions. Others, their covers blown, defected to the West, seeking refuge from the consequences of their actions. These defectors provided valuable insights into the inner workings of their former masters, shedding light on the darkest corners of the Cold War. Their stories served as a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict, the lives shattered and families torn apart in the name of ideology. Section 8. Echoes of the Cold War. The era of intense rivalry between the East and espionage and covert operations has left an indelible mark on history. The Cold War may be over, but the world of espionage lives on. The shadowy world of spies and secret agents continues to thrive. Challenges and technologies. The methods have evolved, technology playing an even greater role, but the fundamental principles remain the same: the need for secrecy, the recruitment of assets, the constant pursuit of information. To sophisticated listening devices, the tools of the trade have become more advanced. Cyber espionage, the theft of data through digital means, has become a major threat, with nations and non-state arms race. Hackers infiltrate networks, seeking valuable information, while cybersecurity experts work tirelessly to defend against these intrusions. The battleground has shifted from the shadows of Berlin. The stakes are just as high. The consequences of a breach can be devastating, affecting national security and global stability. The lessons learned from the Cold War continue to shape intelligence. Training programs incorporate historical tactics while integrating modern techniques, ensuring that agents are well prepared for any scenario. The need for counterintelligence for protecting one's own secrets is as vital as ever. Agencies work around the clock to safeguard sensitive information and to identify potential threats. The human element remains crucial, with trust and betrayal still in the world of espionage. Relationships are built and broken, alliances are formed and shattered, all in the name of national security and intelligence gathering. Section 9, A Legacy of Shadows. The Cold War's legacy of deadly espionage games continues to cast a long shadow over international relations. The mistrust and suspicions sowed during those decades still linger, shaping the way nations interact with each other. The threat of nuclear proliferation, a chilling reminder of the Cold War's darkest days, remains a major concern. The lessons learned from that era, the importance of diplomacy, communication, and understanding, are perhaps more relevant now than ever before. The Cold War may be over, but its impact on the world, particularly in the shadowy realm of espionage, will continue to be felt for generations to come. The stories of the spies who risked their lives, the families torn apart by secrets, and the deadly consequences of this clandestine war serve as a cautionary tale for our times.